Hi folks, Riley here from the Awesome Players Off-Road Motorcycle Club. The other day something nice happened and a company called Outback Motortek actually sent me some free swag. I got a luggage rack for my F800 GS and some Green Chile luggage straps to try out. And the good folks there said just give it the Awesome Players test. So I put them on in the spring and I've given them a pretty good workout over the summer so far. So let's take a look.
I thought we'd start with showing you the rack, how I use it. So my normal setup when I use a luggage rack on a bike is I like to have my main cargo held on by straps, and then I will use a bungee net just to carry some lightweight stuff. If it gets warm during the day, I'll put my jacket under it, and in this case I had a little bit of a highway jaunt home and it was a hot day, so I put my neck brace underneath it. But I would never trust one of these things to hold gear on while I'm going off-roading. I've seen it happen many times where stuff has ended up in the rear wheel and in the chain because people were using bungee cords or bungee straps. So if you want to secure something, you've got to use straps. So let's take a closer look at the Green Chile straps. Now you can see the setup. So the Green Chile straps have a loop on each end, which have gone through a spot here on the rack, and the same here. But what makes these straps interesting, and there's two things, is that this piece here is elastic. And what frequently happens, especially with a dry bag, is you strap the dry bag on, and no matter what you try, there's always air stuck in it. And eventually the bag compresses and the straps get loose. And the nice thing about having the elastic built into the straps is it still maintains tightness. This kit weighs about 11 pounds. So when you're smashing around off-road, this can generate quite a bit of energy that needs to be restrained. You'll also notice that I have the straps running inside the handles. So there's no way for this strap, even if it did get loose, to slide off the bag. There's tie-down points here, but I find it more of a pain to try and always thread these buckles through here. So this is the setup I use. The other nice feature of these straps is it has these little cord keepers. And basically, you fold the strap up, and then with this elastic, it keeps all your extra strap nicely tucked out of the way. Normally what happens is the straps are way too long and you end up cutting them, and then at some point you want to strap down something larger and now they're too short. One tip for using these is when you fold your strap, make sure you leave the tail sticking out the top, because then you can just simply take it and pull it, and now you've got your strap. If you fold it the other way, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, it doesn't work quite as well. So now I've folded the strap with the tail coming out the bottom, and when you release it, now it's trapped under the elastic, which of course you can unhook, but it's a little slicker if you do it the other way. So now I'm going to show you how to fold the strap. I like to just simply fold it. Then you have your little elastic. There's two little notches there for your elastic. And now all your excess strapping is nicely out of the way. It's not flapping in the wind. And you don't have to do what I used to do, which was take all this extra strapping and tie it in a knot, which kind of made it less convenient. So once again, I like to leave the little tail sticking out the top, and yeah, it's a really nice little feature. Alright, let's take the bag off and talk about the rack. So you can see here there's a loop on the end, and to install it all you do is feed the loop through and feed the strap through. Now this is much nicer than having a hook, because if you ever do get any slack in this, a hook can become undone. And over the years we've lost quite a few things on the trail, toolkits and things, because of straps breaking or hooks becoming unhooked. So it's much more secure to actually have a system like that than to have a hook. So here are the two parts to the strap. They both have a loop. so that you can feed the strap through to secure it to something. This is the elastic section. Because the elastic section has this webbing on the outside, when it reaches its maximum stretch, the webbing actually stops it from being overstretched and breaking, which is kind of a nice feature. Everything seems to be like triple sewn. And there's the buckle end with the little clip that holds the excess strap material. And it's the standard Fastex buckle, easy to release. I've removed all of the straps, so now we have just the bare rack. I got this kind of silver color sent to me, but I think it also comes in black. Like a lot of racks, I think they're all pretty much held on the same way. You undo the 4 bolts that held on the little factory plastic piece here. There's some spacers that are different heights that are used to keep the rack flat. And you can see that it's got some kind of stylized cutouts here that gives you lots of places to attach straps and hooks. You've got the mounting holes if you want to use the Rotopax fuel cell to bolt on here. One of the things I like about this rack is that the edges are folded over. I just have a feeling that if you ever came in contact with the rack, it's probably a little less likely that it's going to jab into you. And you can see that the rack stops right at the end of the rear seat, and I've had people sit back here and there's no complaints about the rack jabbing them, so it's nice. And I've had quite a few falls. It's relatively thick aluminum, but it's not very heavy, and it's held up really well.
Now the company has a website for Canada with a .ca, as well as a website for the US with .com, and you can see those on the screen below. I'll also put the information down in the description. They do some international shipping, I believe. You'd have to check out the site. I didn't do an in-depth install video because if you go to their website, they've got some pretty slick videos already done. And you'll also notice that they seem to be developing a lot of other new products for a variety of bikes, so check it out. I read recently too that they are going to be a silver level sponsor of the GS Giants. So I like to spend my money with a company that is involved in the dual sport community and gives things back. So they seem to have a lot of stuff in the pipeline, and from what I've seen so far, it looks like good kit. So for the Awesome Players Off-Road Motorcycle Club, thanks for watching, and ride safe.